In this video, we will be learning how servers can clock in and out of their shifts and create shift reports. Administrators, managers, and serving staff should all watch this video. As well, this video will cover how managers can close their business day and do an end-of-day report. Log in as a server. Once logged in, you can perform table service, take orders, and use the point-of-sale cash register. During your shift, you will process both cash payments and non-cash payments, for example, credit cards or debit cards. During your shift, if tipping is customary for your service, you will also accrue tips, both cash tips and tips left on credit cards. At the end of your shift, tap your name in the bottom left. Enter your passcode and tap Clock In, Clock Out. If you still have open tables or pre-auths, TouchBistro will prevent you from clocking out until you transfer your tables to another waiter or your pre-auths are reconciled. If you have only one table open, tap and hold on the table. Tap Transfer Table to transfer it to another clocked-in waiter. If you have multiple tables open, tap Options and transfer all tables to waiter to transfer your tables in one go. Enter your passcode and tap Clock In, Clock Out. Upon clocking out, you will be presented with your shift report. First, check that your clock in out times are accurate. If you forgot to clock in and clocked in mid-shift, managers and admins have the ability to adjust your clock in times. The sales total section will give you a breakdown of the total sales you've made. If you're contributing to a tip pool based on a percentage of your total sales, you can use this figure to determine your tip out. Payment and refund totals are important if your venue operates under a bring your own bank or float system. That is, waiters bring their own initial bank or float, keep all cash collected during their shift, and make change out of this bank. The cash total indicates cash given to you, but you need to remit to the house. Credit card payments, including tips, are funds in the hands of the house. However, tips charged to credit cards need to head back your way. The statistical summary gives you an idea of your performance for the period of your shift. The final section of the shift report helps you determine how much cash you need to hand back and how much in credit card tips the house owes you. The credit card tips report at the bottom helps you figure this out. Cash owed to house is reduced by the amount of credit card tips you have accrued during your shift. So remit to management the figure reported in cash owed to house. If this is 0, it means you've accrued more in credit card tips than cash owed to house. In that case, cash owed to server will be greater than 0. This amount you need to collect from the house. Again, this report assumes you collect credit card tips at the end of each shift. Some venues pay on another schedule, for example at the end of the week or at the end of a pay period. In that case, the cash figure in the payment and refund total section would be the cash you hand back at the end of the night. Retain your shift report to keep a record of credit card tips earned and due at the end of the week or pay period. On the top left are 3 options for passing your shift report on to your manager or owner. Tap, for example, the printer icon to send it to a configured printer. Tap CSV or the email icon to email it to your manager or owner. Before we leave server end-of-day features, you should know that any time during your shift, if you tap Options Current Shift Report, you can see how much you've sold and other statistics about your current shift. As a manager or admin, you need to close your day with TouchBistro. we generally advise a manager profile due the end of day. Keep the admin profile only for making changes to your restaurant or staff. Before we get into how to close your day, let's look at some staff management features you have as a manager. It's not uncommon for a staff member to forget to clock in at the proper time. You can adjust a staff member's clock-in time on the fly. Tap Adjust Clock-in Time. After all your servers have clocked out, tap Options Perform End of Day. A checklist will appear to ensure the day is closed. Ensure each item except End of Day Report has a green checkmark. If you see a red X, tap View next to the item. Take the appropriate corrective action. For example, if any servers have failed to clock out, tap View. You will be taken to the staff list screen. You can tap Force Clock Out or find the staff member still clocked in and ask him or her to clock out. Return to the end of day checklist. If you still see a red X, tap Refresh. If tabs or tables are still open, tap the associated View icon. In each case, you'll be taken to the appropriate tab on the order screen. Orders and tables are color-coded to indicate which staff member you need to find to close the table. If you're not sure of the color coding, open the table or tab and tap the information icon at the top. You can also tap Ignore on any open issue. However, we do not recommend it. For example, if you leave tables open, those sales totals will appear on the next business day totals. When your end of day checklist shows all green checkmarks except for the final end of day report option, tap Generate. The sales total section gives you a summary of your gross sales for the day before and after taxes. Payment and refund totals breaks down cash versus credit card payments. As well, it indicates any refunds processed during the day. The statistical summary gives you key stats about the day's performance. The credit card tips report indicates cash you need to collect from your servers if you're operating under a bring your own bank system. Finally, the end of day indicates the amount of credit card tips you may have to pay out. Print this report by tapping the print option icon. Alternatively, you can tap the email icon to email it or tap CSV for importing into Excel. Tap Done. Tap Close Day to close your day. At this point, you should power down your iPads. Power off the iPad. Do not just put it into sleep mode. It's important to power down your iPad or iPads at the end of the day, as any temporary files in memory will be cleared out. This helps ensure your iPads work optimally the following day. If you're a pro user, power down your Mac Mini server if it's not been set to power down automatically. Leave your router on as well as your modem and printers. Finally, try to back up your iPads regularly.